Hey, it's a celebration. Whole Leaf gang in here. Lil Leaf out. Free game. God's plan. You see a panel like a Panamera. Till then, hate me catching at the apex. The climax way bigger than the IMAX. Oh Lord. Big screen to make it hit. You taking hits to make you ball up. But
yo, this is crazy.
This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah. So this has been an interesting conversation. But anyway, so it's your boy Just Prince from the Balance Effect Podcast here with
Benny Musa.
It's okay. Suki, and we have a special guest today, lovely Mel. Definitely. I appreciate her for coming here today. So basically, no, I appreciate you. So basically, what we were doing today is, well, we just came back from Atlanta. It was a dope trip, right? Definitely a lot of networking down there.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving forward, so we were supposed to do this a while ago, but finally we got everybody together. Everybody has busy schedules, so I appreciate everybody from coming out and doing this. But it's been kind of long overdue. The last one we did together, we were talking about Suki was talking about she had a lot of shit to say when it came to relationships. So I was like, okay, you know what? Okay, fine. So I wanted to even the playing field, right? Because, I feel like it's me and Kwame all the time, and then it's you just like, oh, yeah. So I was like, okay, you know what? All right, so bring one of your friends, right? And we'll have a healthy yet toxic relationship talk on a podcast. So, I will let you start off with your toxic situation.
I said relationship. Well, obviously it's part of the same thing. Mm-hmm. Trauma in relationships and toxic relationships. The reason I wanted to talk about that is because a lot of people, they don't talk about their traumas, especially with their partner. You know what I mean? Like they get into a relationship and they're so scared to talk to their friend, their partner, because they feel like that, you're getting judged. Mm-hmm. I feel like when you deal with so much trauma from your past and you enter a new relationship, you start doing certain things and you're like, why am I doing this? And you realize it's from your past, from your trauma. That's why I feel like it's important for you to talk to the person you're with.
Right.
Talk through it.
No, to definitely talk through it. I think like people get scarred in their like relationships, and then what happens is that you never really fully heal from that last relationship, and then you move on to something else, and then you kind of carry all that extra baggage and damage situations, and it ends up hindering you, and then you become scarred, toxic people, right?
Or just a cold-hearted.
Yeah, it took me a long time. I feel like I always work on myself, so I don't know if you could say the same. I feel like us women, I feel like it takes us more time. Not that it takes more time than men. I feel like you guys do it different. You guys just shut your feelings off.
Yeah.
Right? If that makes sense. I feel like you guys cope with it differently. And
well,
that's when it becomes toxic.
I think it's also a whole stigma of society, right? Because they make it so hard for men to be in touch with their emotions, right? So it's okay for a woman to cry over a man, but when a man does it, it's seen as weak. Like, man up, bro. Like, and then it's very hard for men to kind of like trust in one another and be vulnerable with one another, right? So it's very important for men to have that type of friend that they're gonna feel comfortable speaking on these topics, because a lot of times, they have the negative people around them and they'll be like, bro, I'm going through this and I really care. And the bro's, advice is, man, F that, let's go to Miami. Like, let's go get the biddies. Like, where's the party? Where's this, right? Never like, bro, you did wrong. You should like overlook your stuff. Think about what's going on. No, it's never that. It's always like, let's get more, like, don't worry about it. Right. So I think it's also society that makes it very hard and for them to work through that. And I think that based on what you said on the beginning of relationships, I think that a lot of us wear masks at the beginning of relationships because we're so scared of vulnerability, right? So we wear these masks because we want them to like us, right? Nobody doesn't want somebody to not like them or think negative, so they'll show you everything you want or that they think you want. And then eventually they can't keep up with it because it's not who they are. And then we start seeing who they really are.
That's crazy.
And then you're like, hold on, like, why didn't you tell me this or why didn't you tell me that? And it's because at the beginning, we want them to like us, right? So once we can't keep up and they start seeing our traumas, then we get scared because we think we're damaged. And who wants damaged goods, right? Nobody. We want that perfection, right? That perfect couple that, especially Instagram, right? It's been horrible for our mental health. when it comes to that, because every couple goes in the pressure and everyone is so free with their lifestyle, right? And that's why they have highlights. Instagram is highlights, your highlights of your life. No one's gonna show their vulnerability. No one's gonna show like, hey, look, I'm hurt. This happened to me, and like I don't want you to hurt me. It's very hard for people to open up to that, and even sometimes like in relationships, women tend to carry a lot of masculinity, and men need to learn to have both, right? There needs to be a balance between your femininity and your masculinity, and not so much letting the woman be so masculine or the man be so feminine. Has to be a balance in order to have respect for one another. Because if you don't have that respect between one another, it's gonna fall apart, right? It's gonna become an ego competition. And a lot of couples I notice tend to compete instead of being a team together. You know?
That's crazy. I'm not competitive. You're not winning.
Exactly, right? So it becomes a more of like, you did this, but we're talking about, I'm gonna do this. You think you're this, I'm gonna show you more. You think that girl's pretty, I'm gonna make sure that I look better than that girl, right? Because
and that's what I'm like.
and not even that, but even as a couple together, right? Like it doesn't become a team; it becomes a competition with one another, and it's not healthy. Like people forget, like we're on the same team, like we're trying to win together as a couple, not you doing me dirty and I'm doing you dirty. Because if we're a team, let's say for basketball, you're not always gonna like your teammates, right? You're not always gonna get along with defense. Hey. You're not always gonna get along with all your teammates, but when you're out in that ball court and that ball is out there, everyone needs to be on the same, game to win.
Right.
So even if me and you are mad at another, right, and you're my teammate, we need to win. So I'm gonna throw you that ball, even if you hate me at the moment, and you're gonna shoot it. You're not gonna send that ball to the other team because you're mad at me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a lot of couples forget. Like, yeah, because you're mad at me doesn't mean that I'm still not on your team. Like, we're still trying to win. But men and women try to get distracted, from the opposite sex, like you were saying, that attention. Oh, okay, you don't want to do it? That ego, no problem. I got 10 guys right there that are willing to give me everything you not. And then women forget that a man's ego is just as fragile as a woman's heart. Even more fragile. And we as women also forget to support our men because
I saw this. What was sorry?
No, I'm waiting for the finish.
No, go ahead.
I'm waiting for the finish.
No, you were going crazy right now.
I was letting you rock.
Keep it going. Go ahead.
I don't know, like, okay, so, I just, I like to listen, sit back, and then assess, and then say stuff. So I was listening to some of the stuff you were saying. You were talking about how, the masculinity, the femininity, and stuff like that. So, there was this book that I read by David Dieter, right? It's called Way of the Superior Man. And the book talks about how there's masculine men, and then there's feminine men, and then there's feminine women, and then there's masculine women, right? In the sense that women tend to, especially now with women empowerment, how women are taking more leadership. There's more women graduating from school, more women taking more leadership positions.
Shout out to the bachelor. Sorry.
Yes, definitely. Shout out to that. Shout out to all of that, right?
2020.
Nah, definitely. I hear it, right? What happens is that now there's like a paradigm shift in the sense that women no longer need men anymore to do regular things that you would want to do. Oh, I need to make sure that my bills are paid. I can pay my bills myself. I need to go out. I go out with my girls and pay the whole bill. I don't need you to pay my car. I don't need you to pay anything. So what happens is that now men are lost in the sense that we are now the feminine. Like, and I'm not saying all men, but I'm saying in general when it comes to society, right? I tend to look at things like in a Freudian scope. So it's like the super ego, straight up what society deems it. Yeah. Society deems it basically as, hey, a woman can do whatever she wants. She can pay her own way. So now as men, we have to kind of cope and adjust to the things, right? But then you also have to understand that what you were talking about with social media is that, yes, they do express the highlights and do express other things. But then what happens is also is availability. I don't need to be in a relationship for that long because guess what? I have the next one or the next girl or the next man in my DMs or that's literally in my proximity, right? For you guys, like for instance, I know we were talking on camera about Tinder.
What are you gonna say?
Tinder. We were talking about Tinder. This was before you got here.
We were talking about Tinder.
No,
I was saying how IG became more like a Tinder availability because a lot of times people come and have a relationship, but they'll have 10 other people just in case. But just to touch base real quick on what you just said, that's the whole point of why everything's so wrong, right? because as humans, we forgot what our real values are and what we're supposed to bring into relationships, which is not just material gain, right? Or sex, or taking care of your man and cooking for him. There's a lot more other things that are needed to have a healthy relationship.
Well, that's a big deal too.
No, not really, because honestly,
cooking and cleaning, that's a lot.
No,
when you have a crazy packed schedule, I think
it is. But what I'm saying is that it's not something that's gonna keep a man. Like,
no, it don't matter. You could have a golden vagina,
which that's wrong too. It's not gonna keep a man.
You can cook and clean. You can have a perfect job. You could be one of the dopest bitch ever. You could have men chasing you. And if a guy's not ready, or if he got some other issues, or he got a sexual problem, or whatever the fuck it is, or if he's insecure, he'll still cheat on your ass with a whack bitch.
Let me ask you this question, right? Let me ask you this
question.
Talk
about traumas, my past trauma. I just tapped into it real quick.
But hold on. I have a question, right? Everything you just said. So you can cook, you can clean, you can do that. But let's say, for example, that your schedule is packed. You work 3 jobs, you come home, you cook. When you time to go to sleep, you just want to go to sleep, right? And your man one day, you see he's upset, he's going through something, but you don't even take the time to be like, hey, hon, how was your day?
It's very
important. Are you okay? How was everything? Like, do you need something? Not just providing, because anyone can provide. Right. It's like an exercise, right? With fitness. We can sit there and pull, but if our minds are not connected to our muscles, we're not even going to realize that we're working the right muscle groups.
Hey,
the same thing with relationships, right?
That was good.
That's my personal training, It's the same thing in relationships. I think that once we become more aware of our spirituality and connect as a spirit instead of flesh, your relationships tend to reach a whole different level. Right? But as humans, our egos are so strong and big, especially our generation that is so accustomed to, like showing a certain style, or like, for example, with females, we became very sexualized, right? We're a very sexualized culture, and it's not seen as taboo anymore. It's seen as acceptable, right? Like, I remember when I was growing up, not to shame anybody, like I admire anyone in their hustle, but, stripping was seen very taboo, and women wouldn't be okay with saying out loud like I'm a stripper, or it would be like I'm a dancer.
But even a bartender,
right?
It was a big deal,
right? And now it's like, and now it's like you're the cool girl, right? Like, your body's done, and it's you get the guys with supposedly the money and everything, but these are the people. A lot of people tend to forget how important it is to feed your soul. And that's why we walk around like empty shells trying to fulfill that touch, right? That feels good. It feels good touch and, sex and this and that. And we get caught up in the toxicity because you don't focus on the things that are supposed to fulfill that connection, and not just your lust, right? Because we get lost in like something that looks good, but just because someone's attractive doesn't mean you have chemistry with them. And chemistry is so important in a relationship, right? Not just what you can provide, because God forbid, let's say, for example, today you can have all your limbs, you can have everything, and you're in a relationship. How strong is your relationship that if tomorrow you were to lose a leg, your man's going to stick by you and hold you down? That's what's important. Or if I'm 40 and I'm starving and I'm going through a hard time, are you going to be there? If my hair tomorrow is going to fall off and I don't look the same after an accident, are you going to fall through because you love my spirit? Or do you just like this little shell that God gave me for the time being? So when we really start focusing our energy in that fulfillment of really caring about the person, putting our ego to the side, being vulnerable, your relationships tend to go to a whole different level. But again, we are such a shallow, society that we're so focused on brands and, showing off on Instagram or who has the most followers or that attention, that we tend to forget that we all, at the end of the day, want love. No matter what someone does to you, person could be the most toxic person, and it's most likely because they've been hurt so much, right? So instead of when someone hurts you, you looking at it as like, you're a bad person, you're a dirtbag, you're a cheater, you're this, you tend to, if you literally look deep into it, that person is so hurt. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that person is so hurt, and they probably came from like a very traumatic childhood that were neglected, not shown love, not understanding to do a lot of things. And now it comes a woman, and guess what a woman's gonna do? We're gonna bang you more down. You're this, you're that, I can't believe you, you're a dirtbag, you ain't shit, you're this, And now a man's like, all right, well, if I'm gonna be that, then I'm gonna be that.
I used to be that woman. Like, I've been in a relationship that I used to go off because of, no.
He's like, really?
No, like, really bad. It's because but I put myself through it. Again, trauma. Like we do a lot of self, sabotage. I always talk about that. Yeah, like we break our own hearts the longer you stay in it. Like you could have walked away, but then you get so used to it, and it's like you think it's normal.
It becomes second nature.
What about time, right? Like, when do we realize that? Because I remember you were saying something about how, like, let's say I'm with you now, and then all of a sudden you lose a leg, right? Like, things have changed. A lot of times we try to like hold on to what was before, and that's what hurts us the most. You get what I'm saying? Instead of just realizing that through time and through experience, your relationship with somebody changes altogether. And I think you mentioned this before we started talking, or maybe like when we officially recorded. That check-in is important. You get what I'm saying? Especially when you start having kids and certain life situations. Checking in, yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. It's very important.
I'm sorry, no matter what's going on.
Yeah.
You could be busy.
Communication.
Blah, blah, blah.
It's very important.
Be busy like 8 days a week, and you gotta still check in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course.
Be very consistent. I stopped talking to a guy because he didn't talk to me for 2 days. You're done.
Of course, though.
Because I feel like that's a little weird. If you talk to me for a minute, then 2 days you don't text me, that's a little off. So that means.
I think
that's trauma.
That's okay.
Probably.
Because I'm like, wait,
but I notice certain things that I don't like now. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. It's because of my past trauma. Like my ex, he was always late to everything, even my birthday parties. Like I'm not even trying to throw shade on him or whatever, because I don't like to talk bad about anybody that I've been with.
We don't know who he is.
You know what I mean? No, it's like I was with that person, so whatever. He always used to be late. Like, I'm talking about really late. He showed up to my birthday parties like he was the last one there type shit. Like, it traumatized me, little shit like that. That now when I'm with someone, I'm like, can you please be on time? If it's 2:09, I need you to be there at 2:08 because that shit is so traumatic to me. Like, messing up.
1:58.
Yes. 1:58. 2 o'clock, you can be there at 1:58.
That's the best. I love it.
Yo, 1:58.
But bullshit like that. Like, little, obviously, there's a lot deeper traumas than that. I have a lot more from my past. But, like, even little things like that. Sometimes you catch yourself, a woman could catch herself crying over some dumb shit. And you could be a very dominant, strong woman. But because you have trauma, you have little triggers that you'll cry off some stupid shit. And you're like, wait, but I'm not even a very emotional person. It's just because we got our shit. And I think men have that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Like for me, like, what's my triggers, man? If you like, what'd you say? Oh,
she has a lot.
I'm working on them still. I'm doing a good job.
What is one of
She's
my triggers? I
reconstructing.
don't think I don't really have a high tolerance for a lot of stuff. Just like you, I'm not with it. Like if one thing is off about what you're saying, I put you in a certain category and I keep it moving for sure.
But that's also can be toxic as well.
Yeah.
I've had a guy like you, so you're just gonna cut me off. I say, yeah, just for that, yes, leave me the fuck alone.
But I be feeling like you avoid so much issues doing stuff.
Yes.
No, you did.
Oh, red flag, good night.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think that's toxic. I think that it can be toxic, but then again, it doesn't have to be toxic. It just has to have a balance. So. You can look at the red flags and more or less see what the red flags entitle, right? Because a lot of times we're so quick to cut it off. Me, I'm the biggest like guilty person on this. Like because I stayed so long in something so toxic, right? I was in a relationship for 7 years, which was very unhealthy. But honestly, I'm so grateful for it because I learned so much from this person. And vice versa, ironically, we were 7 years together, and the first year we were apart, he got into a new relationship. Now he has a kid and he's getting married. So it's like.
Mal parido.
But I dodged the bullet because guess what? Like going to touch base about what you were saying, how growing, and I think that it's very important for us to grow together as a couple. Instead, a lot of couples grow apart, right? So your energy can change, my energy can change, but our energy may not change, right? Our relationship, which is why a lot of toxic relationships, no matter how much work women or men want to do to make that relationship work, it doesn't work because the scars are there, right? So even if I want to become this perfect woman now and communicative and this and that, you're never going to trust me anymore. And it's just not going to work because our energies are so, toxic now. And we've done so much to each other that it is better off moving on. And we hold on to things, like you said, with the idea of, the past. In the past, I think it's such a big issue with a lot of people because going back on the whole baggage thing, we do tend to bring in the past with us and not take the time to be like, the perception of the thing, right? We all have the movies in our heads, right? We play the movies in our heads of what's going to happen, and then it can be nothing like that, but our bodies react to our thoughts, which is why they say thoughts become things.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very, very true. Our level of power to manifest things is true. So if your mind is always negative, if every time you're gonna talk to someone, oh, this person's gonna do me dirty, and you're gonna cut them off right away, it does become toxic.
Yeah.
Because you're not even given the opportunity because you're so stuck in your past. You need to let go of your past and understand that everything does happen for a reason. We have no control over anything in life. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, and it's true. Like, I sprained my ankle 3 weeks ago, and who in the world would have thought I was gonna sprain my ankle kickboxing? No one would have known that.
It happens sometimes.
It happens, but nobody would have known that, right? Or who would have thought that, today all of a sudden we would have been here?
True. It's very true.
So we hold this control of things we want to get done.
He's like the calmest Scorpio. Let's talk
Scorpio.
about signs real quick.
No. Wait, hold on. No.
Don't get me started with the signs.
Yo, listen.
What I was trying to fight.
What I was gonna talk about was just as far as toxicity, right? So do you feel like friends play a large role? Because I can tell you from my friends play a large role in making it more, can make it more toxic, right?
Yeah. When your man want to have a friend?
No. Whoa.
No. Your friends.
Your circle, your inner circle.
Joking.
Thank you. No, I know. Because what tends to happen is that I don't know what I would say past 4 relationships or whatever. Because I have 4. What? No.
Listen. You was with a shorty for a minute, right?
Nah,
no?
I have a 2-year cutoff limit.
What?
2.5.
You don't go past 2 years.
2.5 years.
So that's toxic. There you go. That's one of your toxic.
2.5 years. 2.5 years. La Mocho. That's it.
He's like, you have 700 days to make me fall in love with you.
You get bored. Your teeth look really white, by the way.
Thank
you get bored after 2.5 years, basically?
No, there's a lot of things that happen in between that. But yes.
But what if it didn't happen? What if you met someone and they were good?
I don't know. I haven't yet. I don't have it yet. But what I was saying was that in the last 4 relationships back to all that, right?
She was a Scorpio. No offense.
No. Well, it was the first one was I had an Aries.
She's a Scorpio and the girl was a Scorpio, right?
Yeah.
She's a fake Scorpio.
Nah, she was actually an October Scorpio.
Wait, I'm an October Scorpio.
Yeah,
don't blame me.
Don't
start the November versus October Scorpio thing.
I mean, we're very different in a lot of ways.
Fine.
Nah, it's all good. We Scorpios at the end. But no, in the last 4 relationships, the first one was, I don't even remember. She was a Taurus, right? She was a Taurus. The next one was a Scorpio. The next one was a Leo. Worse related. That was bad. We banged.
No, I do, but
and then the last one was a Pisces. The last one was a Pisces, and she was uber emotional. That was the one that was going through my phone and all that shit.
Pisces are very, very emotional.
Yeah, Pisces.
No shade to the Pisces.
No, plenty of shade to the Pisces.
No, we love Pisces.
Yeah. Nope, we love them.
They're men and they're so emotional.
Yeah, it was never thing. But the kind of the outlier, right, was it was oh yeah, your friends, y'all go out too much, you do all this. I'm like, but you met me like that. You get what I'm saying? You met me. It was you want me. That goes back to the stuff that we talking about conformity.
Oh, so you're saying if you go hang out with your friends,
go hang out even your just in friends in general.
But hold on,
it's not a problem, but you have to make time for your girl.
No, of course.
Yeah, but I feel like it goes back to that
but
wearing a mask thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot, they don't.
Okay, so I know, I'm trying to think about
No, because I'm trying to explain it, and she's like, yeah, and I'm like,
you just said.
Yeah, I'm saying no. I'm just saying let's say I'm saying, can your friends bring more toxicity to your relationship in an instance with girls, right?
Yes,
with girls.
It definitely
your man. I just saw your man. Blah blah blah. Or I just blah blah. Or even with your girl. With you being with your girl, you being with your man. Oh, you hang out with your friends too much. Why you always hanging around with them? Why you always doing that? It can be your friends involved.
You always with your man.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I never cared. My friends, if they want to be with their man.
That's unhealthy. unhealthy.
What's
That
unhealthy?
whole being together 24/7 is so unhealthy.
Yes,
like
it can be very.
What, you and your girl, or you and
Like
or
you be with your man all the time.
I am
all the time?
so anti that. Like I don't know, maybe it's maturity as well. Like
yeah,
when you grow
I
up,
like the whole.
I don't go through
friends.
phones. I don't. Like
Yeah.
I learned my lesson.
Oh,
I can have your code and I won't touch your phone.
crazy
You wanna
for
know
that.
why? It's not that I'm crazy. I'm all with it crazy, but it's like this, right?
So they say.
It's like this. Let's say, for example, you go through a phone. You literally, it's like being in a courthouse,
Toxic,
right?
that's it.
No, it's not that. Yes, it's toxic, but it's like in a courthouse, right? Being guilty before even given the opportunity of being proven innocent. You're guilty automatically the minute I read that message.
Yeah,
I don't care
that's true.
what you're gonna say to me.
It could be about nothing.
It could be about nothing.
Yeah.
I could be like twisting it in every sense of the way into my own thoughts, and you may not have anything wrong, right? But let's say, for example, I give the person the opportunity, like, hey, listen, this person texted you here. They're gonna literally, one, respect you even more because you have self-respect for yourself, self-confidence within yourself, and self-control within yourself. Nobody wants a loca. I don't have time to deal with you looking through my phone when I'm a grown-ass woman fighting with you over what you're doing.
No.
I don't got time for that. That is so unhealthy. Like,
This is so refreshing.
If you have some issues, you need to work on them yourself. It is not my problem and it is not my fault. You need to be responsible for your own healing. That is not my job. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I'm
that's why
saying?
I like
So,
she's had to say that to somebody.
so if
See in the eyes.
Hold on, wait, you gotta get clap for that. Yeah. Think about.
No, but I
Change
say
your
that's
life
why
around.
sometimes from a past relationship, when you were toxic or you went through trauma, sometimes that could be good because you know what you shouldn't be doing in the next relationship.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Because the dude that I'm with now, he's done left his laptop, his phones, Apple Watch with no passwords. I won't even have, I'm like, hell no, I'm not doing it. And I know he ain't doing nothing. He's a good dude. But I wouldn't even want to think about that shit because I've done it before in the past. Because we were such in a toxic relationship, I used to go through everything and it made me crazy. I was like, ew. I don't even ask him questions. Like, oh, I'm going out, cool. Like, I'm not asking you what you're doing. Like, because you obviously, the point is you always checking in with me. You're always telling me, hey, I'm going here. So why I got to ask you? Also, like, you don't have to tell me everything.
Consistency.
So I feel like some shit could be to yourself. Like, I feel like you still need some of your privacy
You
as
have
a man
to.
and a woman. So it's like, now I don't even ask you questions. There's times that he's like, damn, so like I'm leaving and you don't even care. I was like, yeah, I got stuff to do. And also like that shit is toxic. You want me to, I'm not going to keep you in bed all day. You better go to work or do what you got to do.
Well, back to
Because then
that.
you get so
That's what
fucking
makes it
tired.
toxic, right? Because women and men tend to lose themselves in relationships, right?
Right.
We tend to lose ourselves where we want to make that person happy. We want to spend our time with them. We like what we feel with the person, but it's so important for us not to forget about ourselves, right? Our own self-love, our own care, making sure that we are good, number one, because if I'm not good, there's no way I can give you anything, right? So maintaining your own healthy balance, because what happens is people who are older, everything into this relationship, the relationship doesn't work out, and now you're destroyed because where's your world? Your world just came apart. That person was your everything. That person was your day, your your afternoon, your evening, your breath, whatever, like your air, everything. But let's say, for example, I'm in a relationship, and today I don't want to go. I don't want to hang. I want to be by myself. That should not be a problem.
That's
Your
real Scorpio
partner-
shit. That's Scorpio
That
shit.
is a really big.
No, sorry.
I
Go
love
ahead.
my space. Like, I cannot have somebody there 24/7. I will drown. I need
I'm a
my
Taurus. I'm
time.
clingy as fuck.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm the
But
opposite.
I
I'm
do
like,
understand
go
that a man
away.
needs to have his alone time. So
You
that's
have
one thing.
to.
I let him. I'm like whatever. In my head, I'm like I want you here all the fucking time.
You-
But
you
it's
start-
not realistic.
You start taking things for granted. Honestly, when you get so comfortable, you start taking things for granted. When you give yourself that time and space, you really respect that person even more because you start valuing them as a person of who they are. Like, I want to go out with my girls. Today, I don't want to hang out with you. If you don't have nothing to do, I'm sorry. That's not my fault. What am I going to do? I don't know. Go with your friends. Go find something to do. Get a hobby. Like,
Yeah.
I
No, it's
don't
true, it's
have
true.
that control over that, like, because my own life. I want to do what I want to do. And people need to get more comfortable with using the word no. Okay? You
Go.
need to get more comfortable
Yes,
with
very
staying true to yourself and being okay with telling a person no without an explanation. I don't need to explain to you why.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
But I feel like
I
as
am
humans,
tired.
we always feel like we
But
have
that's
to. Like,
again
you know what I
the
mean?
mask, right?
Yeah.
Because we're all so worried about who's not gonna like us or how they're. No. That's not my problem.
Yeah.
I need to worry about me. Exactly. See,
No, I get it.
I am
You're
big.
right. You're right. But I'm just saying.
Mel, do you want to come to dinner? No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No. I'm tired. I want to stay
Yes.
home. Are you really? No.
Yes.
If you're
Right.
not going to respect that I don't want to do something, that that person doesn't need to be in your life. Yep. Same thing in a relationship. I want to go out with my girls today. Oh, but I want to go out with my girls today. Or I want to go on a hike by myself. You don't want me to come? No. I want to take time for myself to clear my thoughts, to figure out what it is that I'm doing. My next move, to have that time to recharge. Because energy is real, and we tend to grab each other as energy, right?
Yep.
You've never noticed how your energy can change depending on who you're around. You'll feel more tired, you'll feel more
100%.
energized. So I need that time to recharge myself. And again, when I was in the self-care is so important. I think that it comes from also self-love,
especially if you had trauma. I think self-care,
and that's what I'm saying. You see, that's the whole thing with trauma. People don't give themselves enough time or the tools to heal. And it's true. You need to take the time to heal, to realize what you do want, what you don't want, and stay true to yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you don't stay true to yourself and you're only doing things because people want you to do, then who are you at the end of the day? Yeah, like, who are you? You know, like, what makes you you? If every time that I'm talking to you, it's about your man, or it's about, you know, whatever, your friends, or back to the whole
I was going to say, back to the whole friend thing.
I don't think that it can be toxic, but I think your circle does have a big influence in your own actions.
Yep.
Right.
You know, so
I do believe friends could be toxic.
Yes,
though,
so that's what I'm saying. Your
relationship.
circle can be very bad for your relationship because it can put you in situations that aren't healthy for yourself or your relationship.
Right.
So you need to learn to set boundaries when it comes to your friends and also your environment to know what's beneficial for you, your relationship, and, you know, everyone in general. Because not everyone is a friend.
Right.
You know, just because I can hang out with you and go clubbing with you doesn't mean you're a friend. So are you worth me losing someone that I know it has my back and does value me as a person? Just because my boy Tony wanted to go to the bar tonight, but I knew my girl wasn't happy, and what, because I'm a man, my ego, I'm going to the bar? No, it's not worth it. You need to balance and check what is worth what. You know, like, everything has a consequence. Everything in life, you know, men, women, we need to understand that everything you do in life has a consequence. Everything that comes up is going to come down.
Of course.
You know.
Hey, I heard about a pop.
Hey.
Pop of champagne.
Oh, shit, where's my glass?
Right. Hello, Miss Columbia needs a glass.
Right.
I think, friends, I am not really big, and I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say this. Okay, cool. You can say I gotta trust this shit. I don't do the big circle of friends. I don't think that it's cool
with you personally, or just with your man.
Well, the guy that I'm with, he has a lot of friends. I respect it. Cool. I respect him and I trust him, so it doesn't really matter. But for the most part, there's times that it'll be a female. All right, if I'm dating him and I meet all his boys, I get cool with his boys. He gets cool with my girlfriends. We get into a fight, and he's calling one of my friends like, "Yo, Sue's bugging out," and she's like, "Oh." And then they start getting close, and then some funny shit happens there. Even that is disrespectful. I'm not calling his boys, because that shit happens.
No.
Yeah, no,
I've
right.
had a girl. I've hung out like
maturity,
this in the crowd with my man, and I had a girl for a year. Fuck my man while sitting like this, doing my nails on me. Whack, bitch. Dyed her hair like me.
That's wild.
Yo, I remember that.
Shit was
I remember that.
Story,
I remember that story, yo. She
after
called me like, yo,
I
can you
thought
believe this
it
motherfucker?
was like, it traumatized me so much.
He was like, yo, I beat that bitch up.
That's wrong. I agree with you. I am not friendly. Well, maybe it's a Scorpio shit too, but I feel so uncomfortable whenever, like, I get cool with, like, my girls, man. I don't get cool. I don't believe in you having my number. I don't believe in me reaching out to you.
I'm not trying to be your friend.
No. We're not friends. You are my man's friend. You are always...
And you're not my friend's friends. Nope.
Yeah. Your friends will always be your friends, and his friends will always be his friends.
Right.
Those girls that be like, oh, I can't believe his
They're
friend
trying to be
did that.
cool. Like, bitch, I don't want to be his friend.
No, or his family, right? Like, women tend to be like, I'm calling his mom. Sweetheart, his mom was just talking to me yesterday.
I got a bad funny story about that.
You guys,
no.
Let's let the guys talk for a little bit.
I mean,
Nah, I like it. I like it. Nah. I mean, I don't mind.
Gabe, let's do this.
Let's bash him.
You guys think it's okay to have, like, to be cool with your girl's friends?
Oh,
or
nah.
vice versa, like, but you know how that happens a lot.
I let Kwon talk.
Yeah.
You don't want to let me talk.
No. Talk.
I would. I know. No, you have it. They are on her side no matter what. You can't be too much of a
Oh,
friend.
but some people are sneaky. You never know. They say some shit. Like, how did you know that? Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I just think what thing about it is that, like, to put some context on that, like, I feel like like one time, all right, I was dating this girl that was a Scorpio chick, right? I was dating her, took her out for her birthday. Her birthday is October 27th. So
stop, that's my birthday.
That's what's up.
Are you serious? October 27th.
So
that is hilarious.
That's mad funny. So basically her birthday was October 27th.
That was good.
Yo, that was crazy. So basically, I like what happened?
No, I just seen the two glasses. I didn't know what he was doing.
Maybe he was giving you some. I don't know. Are we giving wine? Oh, wine! Wow, we're delivering
y'all
wine.
trying to have a conversation.
Is that mine? Hers? Ours?
Oh, here you go. Wine. Okay, we getting wine over here. Okay.
Oh, it's gonna get serious.
Spicy, nice and spicy. Salud. No me
Spicy
brinda nada,
makes
pero
it
está
spicy.
bien.
I'm sweet.
This is sweet.
Whatever.
No,
I'm gonna look at you like that all the time.
But-
I
think
I'm a little
Remember
spicy.
Remember some girl told you that she DM'd her and was like, "Oh, you training with Sookie? Toxic. She's a toxic bitch."
What?
Yeah, she said, "Oh, you training with Sookie? I don't really like her. She thinks she's better than everybody." And you know me, I'm the total opposite of that.
Yeah,
And she's
she
like,
be
"How
bigging
she
up
better?
people.
She's
She
not-
big up
she's
people a
fucking
lot.
goat."
Yeah.
I'm like,
She big up people a lot.
Cheers for trying to ruin my business, but you didn't.
Anyway, back to regular programming.
Again, that's-
No,
that's
it's all
being
good. It's all good.
toxic.
It's all good. But no, like, so yeah, I took her out or whatever, and like, you know, I made the mistake of, it was Facebook Messenger at the time, and I reached out to some of her friends or whatever, and I was like, yo, listen, I'm doing this big party. Y'all don't have to pay. I'm paying for everybody. So you know, I'm that type of dude, like cater or whatever to my shorty, right? So it's not that serious. It's not that serious because it always ends. So it's not that serious. But
See, toxic. Look at that mindset that you have. Just listen to what you just said.
it always ends. It eventually ends. So that's why
But you're
I'm
already
by
putting that
myself.
in the universe. You're putting that in the universe.
No, I'm not calling. I'm just
Yes, you
staying.
are.
No, I'm not. I'm by myself.
Words
I'm
are a
by
powerful
myself.
thing, sir.
Yes.
All right, manifestation. Anyway, back to what I was saying.
Nah.
Nah.
Yeah,
Nah. I didn't get annoyed.
Let's not give you wine.
No. I don't like wine, just Henny. So.
I don't drink Henny no more. That's why they call me Tyler. Go ahead.
Yo, this is dope. I love this. I love this interview. But no, seriously. So like, you know, I hit up her friends and I was like, yo, listen, we're gonna, you know, just come out. But I don't have. I just told you I don't have to pay for anything. Just come out. It's her birthday. It's her 21st birthday at the time. So I'm just like, yo, listen, just come out. It was at New Rochelle. So I think it was Dongo Key back in the day or whatever when we used to be in New Rochelle. So it was right there. This is crazy, the coincidences. But anyway, but just New Rochelle. So basically, what ended up happening was two of her friends came. No, none of her friends came. I forgot. None of them came. Not one. It was actually my friends that came. And then I was like, I can tell you this was my toxic moment as far as like, I was like, you see, your friends, blah, blah, trying to reach out, blah, blah. You see what this talking about?
Okay.
Like how you can do that. That was my toxic moment. But at the end of the day, what I say this to say that, you know, it's never good to mix friends with relationships because what ends up happening, like I tell them certain stuff or whatever the case may be. And yeah, we'll joke about it. Yeah, it's funny or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's kind of toxic because then what happens is that you kind of like listen to the stuff that they're saying, like, nah, leave her or leave her alone or we out, we going out tonight or whatever the case may be. It could be very big influence.
You're the person. One of your friends. They can have a really good relationship or a different. Like we don't have the same story.
Yeah.
It's like you can't. Yes, I'm talking shit, running off the mouth because you know that's what women do sometimes. I'm upset, but like.
I think it's more of a venting thing. You know, I think you have to be careful who you vent to, and
Right.
never take it.
I don't tell nobody anything. Maybe one of my friends.
I think that you also have to learn who to take advice from because I've read this book. It's called The Untethered Soul, and it said something about like if you're not going to don't take advice from someone you wouldn't switch lives with.
Ooh,
You know, and
that's hard.
It's
That's
so
all.
true because it's like going back to the whole fitness thing. If someone is, you know, super overweight and they're like, you know, unhealthy, overly weight, who am I to come and ask you for any type of fitness advice, right? Or if I know that you have nothing going on for yourself right now, you know, in your life, that you're not goal driven, you're not intellectually, you know, stimulate, none of that. Why am I going to take your word for any type of advice you're going to give me? But I think we focus so much on just wanting to hear what we want to hear, and we gravitate to those people that are going to tell us what we want to hear, and yet it blocks our growth so much, because those friends that are going to tell you what it is, you have to be ready to hear it. Yeah. And a lot of us aren't ready to hear it. You know, we're not ready for change. And me and Zuki are the first ones to tell you with you know, that's my name. You know, with clients. We deal a lot with people that want to lose weight, that want to work out, and they'll come one day and then they'll disappear. Yeah. So, and it's because they're not really ready to commit to that uncomfortability of what it is to change your body and become more into a healthy lifestyle. So I think everyone has to reach that point in life where they are rock bottom and they're ready. So there's another quote that I thought was super dope, and it said, people change for two reasons. Either, you know, they've suffered enough, or, you know, they've reached the point where somebody made them change. Yeah. And that's what you need. So I read a lot of like books, especially on love, because I'm very curious about the society. Okay, so my minor is in sociology, and my major is in criminology. I have a bachelor's of criminology and a minor in sociology. And I feel very curious on how society portrays love, right? So I've read books that are written by men, and I'm actually reading a book all about love that's written by a woman. And it's so different to read a man's view on love and a woman's view on love, right? And it shouldn't be that way.
What was the difference?
Do you believe that we should have one way?
I believe that men and women should have one way of looking at love. I believe that listen, this is why I said it. I think it is possible because at the end of the day, I really don't believe most of us know what love is, right? A lot of people...
Here we go.
No, it's true. I think a lot of people confuse... Sorry. No, it's true, because ask a lot of people, what do you think love is, right? What's your definition of love? Somebody could be taking care of someone. Some women's love language can be money. Somebody else's love language can be
very important. Right. Read that book, 5 Languages of Love.
Right, exactly. So, like, for example, Don Miguel Ruiz with the Mastery of Love. Have you ever read any of it? Don Miguel Ruiz? He's great. Which one did you read first?
I actually no, I wasn't. Wait, hold on. I actually read actually a compatriot of yours, Gabriel Marquez.
Okay.
Yeah. And I read it was 100 Years. I forgot what the name of the book was, but it talked about just as far as like thinking beyond just like love is an intangible thing, right? So it's like looking past that. Like love should equal like me seeing myself in you. Like we should mirror each other when it comes to love, right? It's a partnership. It's a partnership, and it's something that takes time to like cultivate, things to grow. And like I feel that it's not something that, you know, in this society that is, at least in this generation, is not something that is heavily talked about. And that kind of feeds the toxicity, because now it's like, it's very easy. Like, and we were talking about before, and she was like, nah, you know how she be, right? But she was, but I was, but she was.
It's true. It's very true.
But when you were saying that, are you saying that you think most people don't believe in love?
No.
They don't know what love is.
They don't know what love is. Everyone believes in love, right? Even when they say
some people don't believe in love. Go ahead.
No, but everyone wants love, right? So I think it's not that they don't believe in love. It's that they don't know the real definition of it, depending on their own traumas and their life, right? Traumas. So, for example, we as children, right? I was reading the All About Love. I forgot who's the author, but that's the female one. And she's saying that as kids, we grow up with this idea of love depending on how our parents treat us, right? So let's say, for example, we grow up in Latin households where our parents would beat us, but they'll tell us, I'm beating you for your own good. It's because I want the best for you, but you just got beat bad to where you're crying. So now your mind builds that as someone hitting you is okay for them to do that because they want the best for you, right? So we grow up as children getting this idea of what love is, and we are the generation that unfortunately we have to cut the cycle, because most of us grew up with parents that didn't have the necessary tools to give us the right direction.
Right.
Because a lot of us come from immigrant families that came into this country that had to work 20 jobs and gave us a lot of neglect.
And they had their trauma.
And they had their own traumas that they came from their own country. Like, I know I came at 8 years old from Colombia. My mom had to wake up 5 in the morning, clean toilets, have 4 jobs. Grandma was, raising me, and grandma was super abusive. So you become like confused on who is the leader in the household, who is the right and wrong, and you start creating these grudges and these pain as a child, and you start hating your parents, and as you grow up,
with it forever.
Exactly, you start understanding once you heal, they are also humans.
Right.
They also went through their pain. They're also going through whatever, and they don't have the tools that a lot of us have here in America to have that freedom, to do certain things. So that's the whole thing about love, right? Like, a lot of us feel like, how many relationships that are toxic can be like, but I love her, but I never do it again. I hit you, but I love you, and I'm sorry, and I would never hit you. That is not love. That is possession. That is insecurity. That is control. That is narcissism. Mm-hmm. And a lot of us have that in us. We can be narcissistic, or we can have narcissistic tendencies. Mm-hmm. When we learn that love is freedom, when we learn that love is detachment, when we learn that love is allowing people to be who they are, how many people we get into relationships with and want to mold us into a whole different people?
Oh, yeah. Because women do it all the time, though.
And men too. Don't get me wrong. Men do it too. So, you get into this relationship and I don't want you going out. I don't want you going out all the time. You're out all the time. But like you said, but you met me this way. You knew I went out all the time. Now why is it an issue when we were dating and it wasn't? Now it was no. Let people be who they are. They're gonna show you, and people become more vulnerable when they feel like they're in a safe space to be who they are.
Right.
But most people aren't. Most of us are judgmental. Most of us are trying to find that person we might have chemistry and make them into who we want to have for ourselves. Yeah. But instead of just, falling in love with a person for who they really are and appreciating them and just unconditional love in the way where it's more compassion than ego, right? It's more like understanding people from the sense of if they make a mistake, doesn't mean tolerating. You don't need to tolerate negative behavior to love someone. You have the right to remove yourself from a toxic state. It doesn't mean you don't love that person.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Right?
Swear.
And that's self-love for yourself.
Absolutely.
As you need to have. If you don't love yourself, I promise you, no relationship you're ever going to be in is going to work. Because no one's going to be able to love you the way you love yourself, and people aren't going to treat you how you allow them to treat you. Mm-hmm. Right. So if you come to a place and they see you confident and they see you a bad bitch, no one's going to fuck with you. How many people don't approach us?
People don't know how long it took you to be that way. I tell them, like, people when they're, I've been on dates with guys, and I'm like, you're so confident. I'm like, I worked really hard on myself. Hell fucking yeah, I'm confident. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm that bitch, respectfully. Right? I mean, like, yeah, because I worked my ass off. Like, there was a time that I didn't love myself because of trauma and being toxic or whatever. His face. And then it took me a long time. So, yeah, I'm going to walk in the room like I own it. I'm going to do my shit. Whatever I do, I'm going to be great at it. Mm-hmm. If we're in a competition, I'm going to win. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to be better than you, but I'm trying to be a better version of myself. Mm-hmm. And back to the whole love thing. People think because when you go through trauma and being toxic in your past, they think that you can't love another person. And no matter what I've been through, I've been in some relationships that I was toxic because I was hurt so much that I didn't care. I would treat the guy like shit. Mm-hmm. That was my past. But for the most part, I didn't allow what I went through to punish the guy that I was with.
To change you.
But that also comes from time.
Yes. Yeah, time. But I've also had guys like, because this is not happening. I was like, I don't give a F. Mm-hmm. I probably went through worse than you. I'm not trying to disown whatever the hell. I'm not trying to discredit whatever you went through. I'm not trying to be insensitive, but if I went through what I went through and I'm still showing you mad love, but you, come on, fam. You're going to have to meet me right there.
I'm going to have to disagree.
I want to read the comments after this.
I'm going to disagree with you there because what you just said about damn, I just lost my train of thought. Repeat what the last thing you just said? Sorry,
that I said if I've been through the worst.
Oh, yeah. So we tend to always, even in conversations, something that I'm learning to really do is not compare my pain to anyone else's pain, right?
Which is right.
Or even saying it that I've been through this and, you've only been through this. We all deal with things differently. Mm-hmm. We all feel things differently. Just because something doesn't hurt you, it doesn't mean that person isn't feeling it 20 times as hard.
That's very
true. My struggles does not diminish someone else's struggles, right? We all go through things that are meant to put us in the place we need to be. I am a huge believer, I'm not so religious, but I'm super spiritual. I believe in God. I believe in, the universe. I believe in energy. And I truly believe that every person that comes in your life comes for a reason. They come to either teach you something or put you in a place that you need to be. Look at me and you, for example, right? The person I was talking to,
everything
I
is law
put
of
you in your life.
attraction. Because before I met you, I was like, I need to find a dope ass trainer that knows how to box. I need a pretty girl. But because you know what? We live in the world sex sells. Pretty faces, but when you know your shit and you're pretty, I'm sorry, when you're beautiful on the inside and the outside, it's like you just, your points is up here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta find a chick that's dope as hell, beautiful inside and out, and I got hands, and bam, here she comes.
Okay.
The power of the mind.
Right, Lord, that's another topic.
I think that once. I think that once we learn, I think the whole thing if there's one thing that I want people to get out of this whole podcast, I think that respect is so important, right? I think that when you learn to respect people and not try to change their mind or try to diminish what they're going through and just say, you know what, I respect how you feel. I might not agree with it, but I respect it. Same thing with the movements right now. Everyone trying to change everyone's mentality on what they see. And I'm like, you can't do that. You can't force someone to see life through your eyes because it's not going to happen. Me and you can be looking straight right here. Same thing. And I promise you, my view is completely different than yours.
So with that being said, that's what I was going to say. But I'm glad you came around to it.
Yeah.
When you said that everybody should...
Toxic, right?
that everybody should view love the same way. I slightly disagree. I think that's impossible. But to respect everybody's view at looking at the same thing is probably more important.
But that's kind of what I meant. So I
100%.
I didn't mean so much everyone having the same concept on love, but the same almost foundation of it, right? Yes, the same foundation of love, so everyone can understand what healthy love is.
Right.
Because a lot of us tend to taint love and use it to manipulate a lot, right? And use it to kind of get our own way and gaslight and be like.
Sometimes you do it subconsciously.
I do, yes, 100%. We all do it subconsciously. I am super guilty of manipulating. Oh my god, I don't know. Is that everything? Because I don't even know this in time. I don't know. Probably. I don't know. But when I don't get my way, I'll see myself doing things to get my way, instead of realizing, this person doesn't want to do it, I should be okay with it. But I catch myself, if let's say, for example, I'm dating a guy and, I want him to come over and he's like, I'm busy tonight. I'll send him, a sexy picture and I know he's going to come. Right. So, stuff like that, manipulating.
That's kind of toxic.
Toxic. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Manipulating.
Yeah. That's super toxic.
You're manipulating the situation.
To your boo?
What you mean?
Of course, because he's telling you, I can't make it tonight.
Oh, that's what you said.
Yes.
I missed that part.
He's telling you, I can't make it tonight, right? I'm busy. I'm doing something, or I have plans with the boys.
Oh, I've done that all the time.
But that's what I'm saying. That's toxic. You need to. Okay, no problem. That's manipulating the situation to your advantage because you're using sexuality to manipulate his opinion to come to you instead of respecting. No problem, babe. I'll see you later. Yeah. You manipulated the situation to your gain.
That's when you type back, I'm practicing abstinence.
Right. So it's I agree with you with that. There's no way culture is different. Right. I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but I get what you're saying, but I get what she's saying.
You could do that without needing
if you got stuff to do,
right? Without just, let's say your man is out working or you're out to dinner with him and you want to have a game and send him some picture in front of your parents to mess with him. Yes. But I'm talking about, we at work, right? And you want to do it at work, totally fine. But let's say, for example, I'm being a baby and I'm being spoiled and, I just want you to come. And then you're like, but I have to do this. And you're like, no. And then I send you a picture, I want you here now. That's manipulating you to come because you tell me you can't. So that's completely different. You're using the picture to your advantage.
That's cool. Women do that.
Maybe I should have used that excuse because they're like, wait, I don't mind that.
No,
that is manipulation, guys.
It's manipulation. And I agree with you 100%. But kind of, changing gears on the conversation because it's definitely insightful to say the least.
I do want to ask the guys: do you both believe in love?
You believe in
You want
love?
to start? You want to start?
Nah, you can start, bro.
I'm gonna start.
He got a
Wait, what's your
2-year. I think he
Aries.
would love you for
What is
2
it?
years.
Aries.
Nah.
Aries?
I
Oh,
like
you guys
Aries.
are fun.
Yeah, and they're
you guys are
strong.
fun. You guys are cool. You guys are
Yeah, I
cool.
like Aries. Got good signs here.
I know the men hate the
No
sign
Virgos.
thing, but whatever. We don't talk
I am
about these
such
signs.
an astrologer.
Hold on though. When it comes to love, I do believe in love, just not the same as everyone else. I don't.
So what's your definition of love?
It's definitely unconditional. I think you can love. It's gonna sound crazy. You could love your mother just as much as you love your wife, but you just express it differently. That's all.
I believe
But
that.
the feeling is there, and that's how
Some
I
people
kind
would
of.
say that's crazy, but I believe that.
Yeah, and I understand why, because you literally having sex with your wife versus.
Right, I had somebody who was like, it was different. I can't love you as much as I love my mom. I was like, yes, you can.
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy. I was like,
Because
no,
people,
you can't.
that'd be the same person that say they love their friends. You feel
Yeah.
me? Or would do something for their friends before they do something for their mother. Like,
Yeah.
so in my mind, I'm like, look, I have certain people that I can say like, I love that person. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I really mean it. Friend, mother, family member, cousin, whatever. And that's that. I just express it differently through every person that I deal with. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I said a hard line. Like, I'm not here saying I love you and I don't. Like, no.
I like that.
Like,
yeah, no, I like that.
you know, so.
That was good.
What's good?
Mr. 2-year guy. Come on.
What's up with this 2-year
Just
thing?
said he only
What's
dates
your
girls for 2 years.
Come on, Mr. Scorpio. Tell us the male view
So here's
of
the sense, I
Scorpio.
haven't passed 2 years either.
You haven't passed 2 years either?
Oh,
It's
you
not
know
like-
why?
It's like I purposely tell myself
I'm gonna end in 2 years, yeah.
It just.
Nah, I haven't passed a year. I'll be honest with you.
I was 7 years.
I passed a year.
But it was because you felt like you
You know
forced
what I
yourself,
think it is? I
right?
think you guys think it's 2 years. In our mind, it's like 5. Because, again, toxic and trauma. Because for the most part, some guys think they're not in a relationship. They're like, fam, we was in a relationship.
I say that though.
Wasn't.
I say that though.
That shit is fucked
See,
up.
I do
Like-
a lot.
Men
Like-
don't count.
You gotta ask men nowadays.
You know, all right, so-
Any girl that may think that
You're
you're
like,
in a
I was with you
relationship
for
with.
5. How you count 2?
She said,
Wait,
wait.
Cause that
That
was
was the day
the
I met you.
that was the two that I was happy.
No.
No.
I met your ass. That's
So-
our anniversary.
So like okay, so I'll go again, right? So as far as like love, I don't know, like for me it's like a little deeper, like it's like way deeper.
What do you
Then
mean?
that-
Go ahead.
Way deeper because like I have to like for me, like even sexuality, like I have to have a connection with you. I just can't be digging in your ribs for like no reason because it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking like
I think
it has
that's
to
as
be.
we get older. Like,
Nah. It wasn't as it because like I could tell you right now, I have friends that be like, yo, I've smashed 100 joints, and I'd be like, bro, I did. Listen, I mean, look, I never. It could be cap, but at the end of the day, like I don't judge nobody. But I'd be like, no, I've had like 20. That was like, and those are 20 that I actually really wanted to be with.
Doesn't say bullshit.
Yo,
Just say and.
Cliff is like 20.
Wrong answer.
listen,
times
20,
three.
man, 20, man. I
Get
have
outta
20,
here.
20.
Bro, please.
This dude right here, man. Anyway, we just gonna edit that out. But anyway. Why? Anyway, we gonna edit that out. Anyway, so like I was saying, like it's way deeper. Like I feel like just love it has to be for me. It has to be unconditional, definitely unconditional. Like, and I know that I have a certain toxicity in me. Like me, I go so hard for some people for like what it could be my friends, it could be my family or whatever. If I don't get that in return, it's a problem for me, right? And then that's what ends up.
There it is. Yeah.
That's what ends up.
That's
toxic too.
That
express itself.
Yeah, like I've gotten in relationships. Like I think like the past 3 relationships, each girl has gotten a Chanel bag. Why is that possible?
Big stepper.
We gonna say Chanel bag. Chanel bag. Each,
Say it again. Say it again. Make it teeth whiter.
That's the Dominican in him. He's
no,
like,
nah.
We've been
Each,
friends for like 20
Wait,
years.
Chanel from
Was
the
that
store
promise?
or from Chinatown?
nah.
Nah,
I have,
I'm kidding.
I have very very expensive taste. But
I know you do. You always have name brand stuff.
yeah. So basically, so like it was, but then it's like okay, if I'm able to spend whatever amount of money that I was gonna spend, we're not gonna talk about that. But on the bag, right?
Okay.
And I was able to do all these things for you, pay on trips. I had a relationship where literally, shorty did not pay for anything. Like
You did everything.
I did everything.
Not even on your birthday?
My last birthday was the first time I ever got flown out for my birthday. Like a girl ever took me out for my
Or
birthday.
let's say, for example, the girl doesn't
I've been
have
doing
the
that shit the
financial
first year.
side
That's
of
why
things,
I'm
right?
toxic.
But let's say she comes and
That's how you
does
lock in.
something cute that she
Yeah.
does for you. Where like, let's say she knows your favorite food, she'll make your favorite dish, and she does like a cute little dinner for you, and like maybe buy you your favorite, I don't know, maybe your favorite cologne, but she's not able to like flow you out, right? I think it's more them putting in some type of effort.
And I get that 100%. But being a Scorpio, I could say this too, right? If I listen, I'm the type of person like I don't like surprises. I'll tell you what it is. Like, look, I'm showing you what I want. Get me this. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. I mean, like, it's cool. Like, I'll be romantic. I'll surprise her. But as far as me, don't surprise me because I'll get tight. I'll be like, what the fuck is this, bro?
So, but you
get what I'm saying?
But
But I'm saying,
shorty,
I did a lot for.
She didn't do enough.
No, I feel like most of the time in my relationships or whatever the case of me, I go expecting certain things. I go with expectations and that was my issue. That's why I decided to just be single because it's like you go into these relationships and you're realizing that you go with expectations, right? And you be like, oh, okay. Especially with the whole match thing that you guys were talking about. You have a girl. I had a girl that, I thought I was like, damn, I gotta live up to Shorty's expectations because at the time I didn't have a degree. She had a degree. She had her own spot. I didn't think it doesn't. But it doesn't. It doesn't. In retrospect,
space cadets.
You know what I'm saying?
You can be
100%
smart and not
street smart. It has to be both. It has to be a balance effect. Anyway, but it was like, I was in this relationship. I was like, damn, yo, shorty, she got all this stuff, and I'm like, damn, I'm kind of like slacking. But it was all me, subconscious. Exactly, I be in my head a lot, Scorpio shit, right? So it's really thinking about, on a deeper level, right? Okay, I have to reach this person, but honestly, that person was way beneath me spiritually and every other way, because because they wasn't in tune with it. I was here, and then I had to like literally lower myself to bring that person up. And at the end of the day, I lost myself. So I ended up losing myself in a situation where I was just like, yo, I don't want to be with this person because I'm not myself. But then it's like I'm literally getting into these arguments, these conversations for no reason because the person who she showed in the beginning wasn't the person that I had at the time. It was an insecure person. It was somebody that was totally what it was I wanted. Right?
And the prettiest girls have the deepest insecurities. I'll tell you guys that.
Oh, that's a fact.
The prettiest girls have the deepest insecurities.
Men too. You know how many good-looking men are that are ugly? Ugh, hate it.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, wow, you were so corny. Like such a walking cornball. Like,
right.
That's why beauty and like that's swag. It's the way they talk, the way they walk. Like
it's confidence. It's confidence.
Voice, everything. A woman too. I know a lot of beautiful women.
Yeah.
That at first you see in pictures, she looks or whatever. You see in person, her whole aura, the way she walks in the room, talks to people like, and she don't even gotta be so sexy. It's just her being genuine. It's just her having a beautiful soul, and she looks hot. And she's very confident.
Yep.
It's like damn, and you would see a okay looking guy. I mean a regular looking chick with a fly guy, and the girl's like, oh, I don't see what he sees in her. And I'm like, yo, she's probably dope as fuck. Like you can't judge because of how she.
And she probably be doing some things.
No,
not always the case, but yeah.
It is always the case.
That's not enough to keep a man.
It's not enough. But I just put it to give more context.
Yeah, that shit don't mean nothing.
No, that even hinders relationships too. But
it's important,
but it doesn't keep a relationship.
Communication, I've learned, is like one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
Wow, I've been learning that this past year, and I'm like, damn.
And
like,
wow. I want to be like,
but different people bring different sides out of you. Yeah. But different people bring different sides out of you.
Yes,
you know,
very true.
Yeah.
People bring different out of you. Like, there's people that could really take that toxic thing out of you, and then there's others that no matter what situation, like for example, person I was just talking to that I'm no longer talking to, but he never took that toxic side out of me. No matter what happened, we were always able to talk about it, no matter the situation.
Libra,
right. So when my 7-year Lucifer.
Yeah, but he was toxic in his own ways.
He was, but listen, but I never said that they're not toxic. I'm saying he never was able to get me to that toxic way of losing my cool, where there's people that come into your life and know how to push your buttons.
Right.
He was charming as hell, that's why.
Right, but not even doesn't matter about the sign. It's also just about the vibe, the energy, and the communication. Yes. Going back on the communication, when you can really feel comfortable talking, things are different. Like, even no matter that you can find someone, doing you the dirtiest of the dirtiest, but if you are in control of yourself, life changes for you. Because people are no longer having that power over you. And no matter what the situation is, you can sit down and talk to them with a straight face, and I promise you that will scare people to death if you are able to control yourself 100%. And not lose it how everyone else does. You know? And there's different people, like for example,
I'm still working on that.
You know, the girl that you gave everything and she can have everything as far as like her house and her degree, but when it comes to spirituality, you know, she's lost. And it's very common.
Very common. You know, like.
But also, why did you mention that you spent all that bread and did all that? That's all.
Well,
like,
because so okay,
like,
yeah, okay, that's part of
like,
that's okay. My thing is with the trauma thing, it's like I said, it's a growing process, right? So within those 2-year cutoff, 4-year relationships, right?
It was 5 years.
No, it was not. It was not. It was not. Because I was not saying the 2 relationships.
Has a lot anything to do with it.
As far as.
Like, do you guys think, talking to the male, do you guys think that age has anything to do with a person's understanding in a relationship?
Experience.
Right?
Experience, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So you don't. There's a difference between experience and age.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So you don't think age has anything to do with it. You think it's more of experience.
More experience, facts.
I disagree with you and agree with you at the same time.
Ooh.
I can agree with you.
Yeah.
But I can disagree with you and play devil's advocate because I believe that no matter how much experience we think we may have, it's not until we reach a certain age where we are able to really develop our own brains and understanding in life to where we're able to put that into perspective. So yeah, at 22, I've been through hell and back. I had my own place. I had 4 jobs. I thought I knew it all. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about self-love. I didn't know anything about self-respect. I didn't know about anything of that. So you can be 22 and live the most hard life possible, but you still don't have the tools necessary as far as development to have a different perspective on life. I think it's most of the time I really think that it's for women is when you hit that 30, right? Like we were talking about, like I turned 30 next week and I was like, I'm freaking out. And you were like, 20s are usually about your mistakes. It's usually about your growing pains. It's really about finding yourself and making all these things. And then once you're 30, it's usually when you're like, okay, cool. I know not to throw myself in that end because it's deep and there's sharks. And I know to go on this side because it's shallow and I know I'm going to be okay. So, yes, you can be 22 and think you know it all. And I know I thought I knew it all at 22. And Lord, I know nothing. You know, and now, even with Facebook, if you guys look at your memories, you know, you look back on
I don't try to look at those.
I deleted Facebook.
So it's funny to look back at my memories on Facebook and the things I used to type 10 years ago, and I'm laughing because a lot of it is still the same, you know?
No,
so
I agree.
So I think it's more about...
What do you say to 30-year-olds that... Because I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. The point is that it's kind of both that have to work hand in hand.
Yes.
So what do you say for people who are 30 plus and they still going through...
They don't have enough experience. So you need to
That's
have both,
true.
right? You could be 30 and not have the experience, and you can be 20 and have the experience and not have the age.
Yeah.
Right? So I think you need both. I think it's time and experience that's going to help you mature. Because there are a lot of 30, 35-year-old people that I know that are still lost in life and, you know, never find their way. But I think that mental health has a huge part on everything. You know, I think that mental health is a huge...
Why? Sorry, why are you shaking your head? What you want to say? You don't think
No.
I think
thought
it is,
about
though.
something.
I think a lot of people suffer from a lot of issues, anxiety, insecurities.
Anxiety's very,
you know,
very
anxiety's
sad.
huge. You know, a lot of issues that people feel embarrassed to even speak about.
Sorry. You keep shooting me your face. You know what? He's thinking about how you and his ex have the same birthday.
No, I'm not. Trust me. No. You know what? She's toxic. But no, seriously, like just to answer your question, right? Because you asked me why did I mention the whole money thing, right? So like that's saying it's a growing pain. That was part of my trauma because at the end of the day, what kind of changed me, I feel like she was so. It's crazy how she was talking about she was talking about and we'll kind of bring this so close.
Yeah.
She was talking about her 7-year relationship. I feel like every Scorpio has this one traumatic thing in their life that changes their whole scope on shit, right?
Yes.
So I had one. This was actually the longest one relationship. It was 4 years, and that was the first one with the Taurus. And I went through a lot, and like money was a big thing in that one. Money was a big thing, and that changed my whole perspective on everything. It was like. Yeah, it was bad. I'm not gonna go too in depth with it, but yeah, just to give you some context.
So you feel like now when you go into a new relationship that you would want a woman to put more effort.
No,
So
not even that. I mean, honestly, like I don't even.
So much.
I'm used to doing a lot, but it's like honestly, like.
Cause I'm like that. I'm so used to doing a lot that I need a lot of effort.
I need a lot of effort, but the thing about it is that one thing I took, cause you know I'll be turning 32, so it's like I wanted to take the time out now to just figure out myself and just be cool being by myself. Because at the end of the day, you end up losing yourself in relationships, like we talking about. And the thing about it is like it was just like it didn't make sense. At the end of the day, I was going back and forth in these relationships, getting out of one, going into the next one, and just bringing baggage, dealing with somebody else's bullshit. And then it's like, yo, when I have time for myself. So that was the most important thing. It was just like, nah, it's not. You got to be able to be cool with being by yourself first. Yeah. You can't give what you don't have. You know what I'm saying? If you don't love yourself, you can't love nobody, right? So that was my thing. But yeah, I think we should have a part 2 of this, man, because you know.
Definitely, but I do want to close this out, and I want everyone to say like, how do they deal with their traumas? We all have trauma. Is there what ways do you guys?
Would you like the men to start? Would you like the men to start?
Start it.
Like coping mechanism?
Yeah, like what keys do you use or do in your daily life that helps you with your traumas? Or there's some traumas that we don't even think about we have. Like, you know, for me, I don't see someone like I don't have a therapist, psychologist, but I do talk to friends. Before I didn't, I was always very closed. Like I was never close to anyone. Like that was just my thing. Like I feel like that's one of my traumas too. But now I talk more to people. One of my friends, the person that I'm with, I want to talk about. I'm communicating more about our traumas and stuff like that. Working out, talking to people, and not being afraid to express myself and saying what I want. Yeah. Because then there's no issues later on. And again, not wearing a mask. That's helped me a lot with my traumas.
Being you.
Every single day, positive affirmations and positive audios. I have to do it every day just to like train my mind.
I think I sent you one the other day. I don't know if you checked it out.
No, I didn't. Cause I don't know. I have so many texts. Go ahead, you next.
So actually, I learned something recently, and it kind of has something to do with what you said. Being able to communicate and talk to other people about what you're going through. Doing it openly and not being afraid of being criticized for how you feel or what you say. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like this conversation alone, me sitting back and listening to what y'all got to say, has helped me enough and put together like, okay, have I done that? Have I moved like that? You know what I'm saying? And then meditating on it later kind of has helped me work through a lot of stuff that I've been through that I didn't even realize I was going through at the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I think this is definitely a therapy session for all of us.
You want me to go?
Yeah, let's Columbia close it out.
Okay. I don't know. Like I think the light bulb situation for me was a COVID thing. So it was that's the reason why I kind of like started the podcast, started my own business, started really taking initiative on just like what my next 18 months is. So like I have an 18-month plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, right? So I feel like that was my like focus on it, to harness that energy, because I felt like, you know, I listen to a lot of, like, I read a lot, I listen to a lot of like motivational stuff, you know, and one of the mentors that I was listening to, he talked about, you know, you never change until you're angry. The quote was, discontent was the seed of change. So basically it's like, you're right, I was fed up. I went to school, my mom was like, yeah, vete para la escuela, go study, do whatever you want. And I'm like, I never got anything out of that, bro. I'm working a regular job, I'm doing whatever, and I've never done what I wanted to do. I've always invested in everybody else instead of myself. So for the first time ever, I was like, oh, you know what? Let me just invest 100% of myself. So I think my coping mechanism has always just been, for the first time, just focusing on Gabe, man.
So, wow, that was good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That was good.
So mine, like you said, mine's been a little while. I think my journey started like about 4 or 5 years ago when I started the weight loss thing, when my mind started changing. But some like the tools, I definitely I have a therapist. I speak to her once a month. I used to speak to her every week, but now I speak once a month. She's great. She's like one of my best friends. She's actually Colombian too, so I think that helps a lot because culturally,
Colombia trip.
Understand. Shout out to Colombia. But definitely meditation. Meditation has been a huge part of me. Fitness, boxing has been a blessing in my life. I think boxing is like the biggest release as far as for me and fulfillment. Journaling. I definitely journal a lot. I try to journal as much as I can, and it definitely helps put things into perspective. And reading a lot of like self, healing books, and not just like a specific one, but I try to like branch out in a lot of different views, because that's why I read most of the self-love books from men, and now I'm reading one written by a woman, and it's so interesting, to read different views, because most self-healing books are written by men. If you look at it, most of them are all authors, and New York Times. Yeah, New York Times. The bestsellers are usually men. But then, like, if we notice about, like, women are usually the ones that know more and are more in tune with emotions and nurturing, and we're more in tune when it comes to that connection within ourselves. So definitely journaling, definitely meditating, exercise, and time for myself. I think that was a huge part for me, as far as, I don't know, again, if it's a Scorpio thing, I think it's just,
we like to be alone.
Things, but I need to be alone. I think that when I have no time for myself, I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I can't sometimes honestly even breathe. So time alone, journaling, meditating, therapy, and exercise are probably, top 5 for me.
Right. Nah, that's all dope conversation. I don't know. Did y'all finish that one? No, I'm still. No. But no. Like I said, kind of like to wrap it up. I guess. What am I, like, the fake keynote speaker? But So basically, what I got from everybody's take on it. Well, we definitely gotta do a part 2, because I definitely want to hear about what Kwame has to say about a lot of things, because he's toxic too. But nah, I'm joking. I'm
Shots fired.
Nah, I'm joking.
Nah, I admit it though. I do.
Yeah,
no, go ahead,
no, go ahead, bro.
Now I was gonna say, like, yeah, I could be that toxic friend for sure. As far as like the single bachelor guy situation, yeah, that's me for sure.
Yeah, because he be the first one. He be like, yo, leave her.
Yeah, leave that.
Can they say it one more time?
Like that, like the friend that's single.
Oh, so you're the toxic.
Yeah.
But I like, it's only when asked. I don't go and try to like manipulate him to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when he tells me like, oh, she's doing this, that, and the third. I'm like,
yeah, man.
That kind of reaction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He could definitely do that. But what basically just like, I appreciate you guys for coming here, because I think it needs to be said, like, toxicity and mental health and all that stuff kind of goes hand in hand with, and social media goes hand in hand with the reason why a lot of people are lost. Like, one thing that was, that stood out was just being a lost soul, and we're trying to find people, and it's a balance, right? We want to, at least what I want people to get from this podcast solely is, just continuous self-improvement.
Yeah, self-love is huge.
That's
Self-love.
a lot to, like,
Seriously,
healing with your traumas. Is
give yourself that energy
Yep.
and that love that you're willing to give to others. Make sure that you give it to yourself. Number one, always.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
When you do that, I promise you, like, life isn't as hard. Like, one of my main things I tell my clients is, like, things don't get easier, but you'll get stronger, right? So life does not get any easier, but the stronger you get, the easier things feel, right? How many times you don't hear our clients, you make it look so easy. It's not easy for us.
I'm tired.
We're tired.
I'm hungry.
We're hungry. We're in pain when we do these things. We don't even want to do it,
it,
but we make it look easy because we are stronger.
She's always hungry.
So,
I'm always
She's
hungry.
hungry.
Hungry right now.
as
Me
we
too.
evolve and as we get stronger emotionally, things don't hit us as hard.
Right.
Yep.
No, definitely. I agree with everyone's statement. We're gonna kind of schedule a part 2.
Definitely.
But yeah, this is the Balance Effect podcast. My lovely co-host and the special guest, Mel from Colombia, Paisa.
Hey,
Right?
Miss Colombia.
Where's Colombia? All right, we're gonna cut that. And then that's it.
That was great.
Yeah, definitely was
You
great.
got so much better at speaking too.
Yes.
Yeah, you did a lot better.
I'm calm.
You always